India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi had a successful and substantial visit to the US. DD India's Amritpal Singh puts the visit in its proper context for you. Take a look.
It was a hectic 56-hour visit, one that's being described as fruitful and substantial. The Prime Minister had a host of engagements.
The visit began with Prime Minister Modi receiving a warm welcome as he landed at the Philadelphia airport on Saturday. He later interacted with the Indian community on his arrival in Delaware. His first engagement was a bilateral meeting with US President Joe Biden at his home in Greenville, Delaware. Describing the meeting, which lasted over an hour, the Prime Minister said their talks were extremely fruitful. He wrote on X, and I quote, "We had the opportunity to discuss regional and global issues during the meeting." Later in the day, Prime Minister Modi attended the Quad Summit hosted by President Joe Biden in Wilmington, Delaware.
हमारी बैठक ऐसे समय हो रही है जब विश्व तनावों और संघर्षों से घिरा हुआ है। ऐसे में साझा डेमोक्रेटिक वैल्यूज के आधार पर क्वाड का मिलकर साथ चलना पूरी मानवता के लिए बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है।
The Quad leaders also announced the Quad Cancer Moonshot, a partnership aimed at combating cervical cancer in the Indo-Pacific. On the sidelines, the Prime Minister held pull-aside meeting with Australian and Japanese counterparts. On Sunday, Prime Minister Modi addressed a gathering of over 13,000 Indian Americans at the Long Island in New York. Describing India as a land of opportunities, Prime Minister Modi shared his ambitious goals for the nation during his third term.
भारत आज लैंड ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज है। बीते 10 साल में भारत ने हर सेक्टर में अपॉर्चुनिटीज का एक नया लॉन्चिंग पैड तैयार किया है।
Prime Minister Modi also announced the opening of 2 new consulates in Boston and Los Angeles, addressing a long-standing demand of the Indian American community in these major cities. Later in the day, he interacted with top CEOs from the tech sector at a roundtable in New York. Prime Minister Narendra Modi provided them assurances regarding India's unwavering commitment to safeguarding intellectual property rights and nurturing tech innovation. On the last day of his US visit, Prime Minister Modi addressed the UN Summit of the Future at the United Nations headquarters in New York.
Success of humanity lies in our collective strength, not in the battlefield.
The Prime Minister also held several bilateral meetings with world leaders, the key ones with President Mahmoud Abbas of Palestine and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
Be in his meeting with President Zelensky or his address at the UN, even at the Quad Leaders Summit, the Prime Minister reiterated India's long-held position that resolution to global conflicts can only be found through dialogue and diplomacy, sitting across the table, not on the battlefield. With cameraman Sanjay Jena, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in New York.